We're here with Kellan. He got second place today, but he's been playing this deck for a couple weeks now in our non-meta tournaments and occasionally meta tournaments. It's his Super Quantal deck, which is interesting. And I don't know much about it, but so I'll let him explain.
Not knowing much about this deck would be an understatement, but man, this deck is just collateral damage, the archetype. And Netflix, I will never forgive you for removing Power Rangers off of your website. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to it. The starter card, best card in the game. This is the card that starts all of your combos. This is the card that, honestly, it's Ash bait, but I might consider putting in Gamma for those later down the line. Moving on, we got probably the second best card. He's a mill, which will set up graveyard plays as well as possibly set up a Magnus. And the ability to search alpha into a comeback play is so beneficial. The Stratos. Odd for a Stratos to also be a recycler, but here we are. It's a very good card. Don't ever play two. Got the Ignite, or rather Infernoble card here. So, free special, special summon that cannot be chained to is really nice. And being able to recycle or re-special summon basically means that no matter what you pick off of Alphen, you will always get what you want. Either the one that you wanted to special summon, the one that gets sent to grave instead, you'll just special summon anyway because red hit it. Worst one by far. His graveyard effect, if it was replaced for something else, would be far more beneficiary. But as far as he's concerned, he's fine. His Xyz monster is honestly better than he is. But playing 2, I've considered it. But playing 3 seems to be optimal just because opening him, you could get an extra material from Magnus with your Alphen. Got on the tech here with the anti-Kaiju. So it's well known that this deck's biggest nightmare is Kaijus. But this thing, main decking it, I've seen a lot of success in just being able to set up Magnus plus another body. Sometimes that's enough for some good damage output. Sometimes it actually does cuck a Kaiju out of the hand. And if I draw into it after they Kaiju'd me, I'm able to make a recovery play, possibly set up into a secondary Magnus. Got a few discard fodder, which the Kaiju functioned a little bit as discard fodder. So this one is one of those cards where it functions poorly in time, but as far as discard fodder goes, the fact that you can pitch one, pay 500, get another one, pitch it off the field spell, get another one, is so beneficial to this deck and needed for this deck that playing without a good discard fodder engine, at least 9 cards of a discard fodder engine, would be a bit foolhardy. And it's really pick your preference on discard fodder engines, but this one is just an old tried and true method that is quite affordable. Speaking of old tried and true, and also very easy to come across, it's Thunder Dragon as a discard fodder. And this will occasionally come up in some matchups, like the Thunder matchup, where they just chain Titan and pop one of your field spells or whatever. And the last 3 can be functioned with anything, really. I'm thinking about putting in a Gamma and functioning out one of the power 1-ofs, maybe getting out a green. But as far as good hand traps go, if you have a Magnus plus an Ash, or even a few XYZs plus an Ash, they're not going to have a fun time, and it's going to be a much easier time for you. The field spell, as well as the 1 Terra. So this is the thing that allows you to summon Magnus. Without it, you can't play your best game plan. It's not a good idea to run any less than the maximum amount. And also, the fact that it requires discard fodder is not always a bad thing, as it lets you set up cards in grave, like the graveyard effect of the Super Quantums, which in that sense is not a hindrance to the Magnus, but instead leap forward towards the Magnus. Now this is the build that incorporates Pot of Extravagance. So I've never been a fan of the link-heavy variant, nor the variant that requires on multiple different toolboxy kind of rank 4s. So I thought Extravagance would be a perfect fit. Unfortunately, it does have a bad side where late game, it's awful. You want to have this turn 1, Hopefully don't banish 3 of a Magnus or 3 of a piece that you need for this particular combo in your opening hand. And it's really just meant to get Magnus as soon as possible on turn 1. And if you draw into it, it's practically dead unless you want to be really risky. Power 1-ofs with the Foolish, and E-Telly for the blue. 1-for-1 for the Alphen. Monster Reborn for really anything. Reasoning, because this is one of the few decks that can actually play this card. And we got Called by the Grave. I'm not rich enough to afford TTT or talents. So if you were to have TTT, I'd recommend putting it out for the Ash Blossom, as that would be more optimal as it is. We got here the God, the King, the Magnus. So the only thing you got to know about this thing is everything is great about it. Even a 3 material or a 2 material Magnus is enough to win games sometimes. And God, if only he was a little bit easier to summon, he would be so broken. And then as an Extravagance build goes, we're playing 3 of each Zord. So I don't play the Link monster. I always thought that that thing was garbage. Now, as far as the Xyz monsters go, they have their own utility, but more often than not, you're just using them as pieces for Magnus. Now, probably the best one, a standalone, would be red or white. And those ones can be difficult for a majority of decks to go through, but some matchups, Grand Pulse is better, some matchups, Ouroboros is better. So it's really preference on whether you're wanting to build up your field into a Magnus or a whole bunch of small little interruptions. Got a side here. This is for typically Eldritch, and we do see a lot of Orcust at our locals, so it's a good option there. Also Eldritch, a little bit of Virtual World here and there, but that's decreasing. So this one's more of a, I got nothing else on the side deck and I just add this in. Now we got the grade of field of hand traps. And these ones in particular are getting better in this format, but especially towards rogue options, I feel like Impermanence really holds its power. And a Magnus plus a Impermanence in column can sometimes shut down an entire play, especially, I've seen it happen against Bird Up especially. 1 pink. I almost never summon it, but I almost never side it in. But the availability that this card offers, being level 7, big body, and being pink, he offers so much utility, I just can't put him in. 1 Feather Duster, back row hate, simple, more back row hate. This card is fine in this deck. This deck can afford discard fodder. In fact, it encourages it sometimes. And when Cyclone isn't enough and you're not drawing into heavy Feather Duster enough, this is your best option.
Right. Other than those changes with the gammas and stuff, is that pretty much all the changes that you would want to make to the deck?
At the current moment, and if I did have talents, I would definitely add that in a replacement. But yeah, the gamma, maybe citing it out for a Called by the Grave for the driver, and that would allow for some interesting plays if they actually kaiju your boss monster, or if they, for example, normal summon Alphen, tribute his cost for the effect, the Ash Blossom, okay, gamma. It's just a nice backup plan that will work up nice if that is the course I wish to take.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Kellan, for the deck profile on Super Quantles. Very cool deck. It's very really oppressing once he has 7 material Magnus, and it's like, oh god, I can't. It's this Colossus. I want the Colossus back. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions about his deck, leave it down in the comment section below. And hope you guys all like this video. Leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe. We should see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day. I hate English.